Hello, dear students. This is the second lecture on fundamentals of mobile computing. It is dealing with the mobility management concept that you have come across in the previous lecture where we had studied about PCS. How the mobility is managed, that has been discussed here in this lecture. Basically, mobility management handles the functions that arises due to mobility of a subscriber. Means if the subscriber is in a moving state, then mobility management has to handle this situation. Main objective of mobility management is location tracking and call setup. There are two aspects of mobility in the PCS network. What are they? First is the handoff. What is handoff? When a mobile user is engaged in conversation, the MS is connected to the BS via radio link. If the user moves to the coverage area of another BS, what is MS? MS is the mobile system, BS is the base station. Then the radio link to the old BS is disconnected and radio link to the new BS is established to continue conversation. Means the user has to get connected to the new base station rather than the older one so that he is in contact with the coverage area of the new base station. This process is called automatic link transfer or handoff. Depending on the mobility of the mobile system, the handoff is divided into two categories. What are they? First is the inter BS handoff or inter cell handoff. What happens in the inter BS handoff or inter cell handoff? Basically, MS usually moves from one base station to another base station under the MSC. What are the taken when the user is moving? It is inter base station. Okay, the point to be noted is it is inter base station movement. First action is the MS momentarily suspends conversation and initiates the handoff procedure by picking a channel in the new base station. Then it resumes the conversation in the old base station. When MSC receives that signal, it transfers the information to the new base station and sets up new conversation path to MS through that channel. This can be seen in the step 2 in the diagram. After mobile system has been transferred to the new base station, it starts the conversation channel with new BS and then MSC disconnects the link with the old BS. So you can see this. It is a four-step procedure which has been shown here in the diagram. Initially, the old BS is connected and then a connection for the new BS has been established, and you can see the dotted line that in step 3 the new BS tries to establish the connection, and as soon as the step 3 connects through new BS, then the in step 4 the connection from the old BS is disconnected. So this is inter base station movement. Second is the inter system handoff. What is inter-system handoff or inter-MSC handoff? How this is performed? Let's understand this. When MS moves from one BS to another connected to two different MSCs, then what are the action taken? First is the MSC 1. Since the BS is connected to through two different MSCs. First step is that MSC 1 requests MSC 2 to perform handoff measurement on the call in progress. MSC 2 then selects a BS by interrogating the signal quality and sends the information to MSC 1. Then MSC 1 asks MSC 2 to set up a voice channel. This happens only when the signal quality is strong. If it is not strong, you might have seen that we sometimes cannot find the signal, or we sometimes feel that the mobile is not connected to any network. So this happens when there is a strong network. Assuming that a voice channel is available in BS2, MSC2 instructs MSC1 to start radio link transfer. MSC1 sends the MS a handoff order. Now MS can access BS2 of MSC2. MSC2 informs MSC1 that handoff is successful. Then what happens? MSC1 then connects call path to MSC2. In the inter-system handoff process, another MSC is always in call path before and after handoff. Means at times you will not lose your connection. You can see this through the dark lines in the diagram. First BS1 is connected to MS1, MSC1, and then BS2 tries to connect through MSC2. MSC1 instructs MSC2 to establish the connection when a strong network is found. MS is moving from BS1 to BS2, and then as soon as BS2 gets a strong signal, it connects through MSC2, and you can see a dark line in the second diagram between BS2 and MSC2 and MSC1. So the now the line which was earlier darker between BS1 and MSC1, it is now lighter, means the connection has been de-established. So this is what happens when we are talking about inter system or communication. The path minimization process is the path minimization process takes place. How does it takes place? When MS moves to MSC3, MSC2 may be removed from the call path. Means whenever we try to move from one location to the another, and if we see that there is a network free, congestion free path from one station to the another, why will we go in the middle station? So if now MS is moving to MSC3, then MSC2 will be removed from the path because that would be a longer route. The link between MSC1 and MSC2 is disconnected and MS connects to MSC3 directly. This process is known as the path minimization. You can see it through the diagram. MSC1 has been connected to MSC2 via the to connect the MS. Then MSC1 and MSC2 link is de-established, and MS is connected to MSC3. MSC1 via MSC2 via MSC3 link was there earlier, could be possible, but now MSC1 via MSC2 link is de-established, and MSC1 establishes a new link with MSC3 directly, and it is connected in the MS. This has been shown in the figure 5.7, that is the path minimization. So there is now no requirement, that has been shown in the figure 5.6, to connect MSC1 to MSC2 to MSC3. Now MSC1 and MSC2 link will be removed because the path has to be minimized. So this is also required to have a congestion free network, because if the longer path is there, then more time you will spend on the network, and since you will spend more time on the network, there will be always a problem of network traffic. So we always try to give a smaller path to communicating channels, so that they can complete their communication very fast, and there is less network, there is less traffic on the network. Then there is another aspect which has to be taken into consideration, that is the roaming. What is roaming? When a mobile user moves from one PCS system to another, then the system should be informed to the current location of the user. Otherwise, it is impossible to deliver services. It happens when we are moving from one base station to another. Means we are leaving our location and we are going to a newer location. You can assume that you are moving from UP East to UP West, or you can say that you are moving from UP East to Delhi. Then it means that there are two steps that are to be performed when you are under the roaming constraint. What are those? First is the registration. Means the location of the user has to be updated, where MS informs the system its current location. So it is the responsibility of the MS to stay connected to the network. If, suppose that I am moving from UP East to Delhi and I switch my mobile off, then in that case MS will not inform its location to the base station because it is switched off. So it is a responsibility of the MS to inform its location to the base station so that he stays connected. Second is the location tracking. This process during which a system locates the MS. Location tracking is required when network attempts to deliver call to a mobile user. Because if a friend who lives nearby my house, suppose I am living in Alambag and another friend of mine lives in Alambag and he is trying to call me, but now I am in Delhi. So there should be a location tracking. First of all, my registration should be with the Delhi network. Moreover, my call will be transferred from here to where? To Delhi. So that the call is transferred to the MS. So location tracking is very much important when a user has attempted to a roaming location. So there is a need of tracking the location of the user. How does registration process perform? Registration process includes the following steps. When a mobile user enters into a new PCS network, it must register in VLR of the new system. What is VLR? It is the location register of the new system. The new VLR informs mobile users HLR, home location register, regarding the current location and address of the user. The VLR should have the visitor location register should have the information of the user who has entered in his area. Where will he get this information? He will get it from HLR, home location register, where I have registered my mobile. The HLR sends an acknowledgement which includes MS's profile to the new VLR. So my location would be sent by my home location register to where? To the new VLR where I have moved. And what would be that information? That would be the profile of the MS. The new VLR informs MS about successful registration. Means you get a notification that yes, now you are in the roaming area of Delhi. And at times you are advised to switch to your location roaming services on. This you might have experienced. It means that your registration is taking place. The HLR sends a deregistration message to cancel the location record of MS in old VLR. The old VLR acknowledges the re-registration. Means if suppose you are moving from one location to another, then this process will happen that your old VLR would be updated to new VLR and the old VLR will acknowledge the deregistration process to whom? To the HLR. That is your home location register. You can see this in the diagram. If you are in Los Angeles, California, this is the new VLR and your old VLR was New York City in New York. So you have through the HLR home location register, you have to update your location to new VLR and your old VLR updation, that is step 4, that would be de registration, means you will now no longer be registered with the old VLR. So step 4 is there. You can see this has been explained by step 1. Step 1, what happens that new VLR has been sent a request. Then step 2, HLR sends the registration information. Step 3, the new VLR informs MS about successful registration. And step 4, the old VLR is deregistered. So this is what actually happens when you are under the registration process during the roaming procedure. We move on to the next topic, that is the location tracking when you are in the roaming position. What happens during the location tracking? To originate a call, MS first contacts with MSC in the new PCS network. The call request is forwarded to VLR for approval. If it is approved, MSC sets up the call to the user following the standard PSTN procedure. You can see in the diagram here, the call delivery procedure has been explained. So when we talk about the roaming, your location tracking has to be very correct. Otherwise, you will not get the new informations. So what happens? The steps for location tracking can be performed like, if a wireline, first you can assume that this may be the first point. If a wireline phone attempts to call a mobile subscriber, the call is forwarded to switch called the originating switch in the PSTN. This is public switch telephone network. This is your you can say that this is the overall subscriber of the network. The switch masses a query to HLR to find current VLR of the MS. The HLR queries the VLR in which MS resides to get a communicable address. It means that where you are at the current position, that information is in your VLR. So what happens? The HLR will query the VLR that where is this MS, this mobile system, where is it currently. So that would be the query result to the HLR, and where it will be originating, it will be originating from the PSTN, because the whole BS are being governed by the PSTN. Okay, these are the switching network telephony networks which govern the mobility of each and every user. Next, the VLR returns the address to switch through HLR. Means VLR will tell, yes, this is the person who is here in my location. So that information will go to whom? The HLR. Based on the address, a communication link is established between the MS through visited MSC. It means now your movement has been acknowledged. This has been shown in the diagram. You can see number 1. What happens? PSTN is asking from HLR. HLR is asking from number 1 VLR. VLR is giving information to HLR. HLR is giving information to PSTN. This is in serial number 1. Then the PSTN updates the MSC in step number 3, which is keeping the detail about the mobile station. So MSC will have the detail about the mobile system which is moving from one location to another. Suppose it was at again I'm taking the same example. It was at UP East, and now it has moved to Delhi. So all this involves location tracking through HLR. HLR asks from VLR. VLR gives back the information to HLR. HLR updates the PSTN. And the mobile system has been connected through MSC to the PSTN. So this is the complete roaming procedure that takes place during the roaming of the user. So I hope you find the lecture useful. This was about the mobility management of the user. Thank you so much for listening so patiently, and I would like to show you the abbreviations which have been used in the um, whole lecture. MSC is Mobile Switching Center, which contains the details about the MS. BSC is the base station controller. MS is the mobile station. You can call it the mobile phone itself. VLR is the visitor location register. HLR is the home location register. PSTN is the public switched telephone network. PCS is the personal communication system. We have studied about PCS in lecture number 1. I would suggest that you note these abbreviations for further lectures, because these would be utilized throughout my lecture series, and because it is very difficult to take the whole names, we will take the abbreviations. And thank you again for listening so patiently. Do keep watching for next videos. Thank you.